She missed her job interview helping a lost girl, not knowing she was a millionaire's daughter. Emily Carter checked her watch for the third time in less than a minute. 9:05 a.m. Her job interview was at 10 a.m., and she still had to cross half the city to reach the prestigious Harper Financial Group. This interview meant everything. After months of unemployment, unpaid bills, and countless rejection emails, this was her chance to finally change her life. She adjusted the strap of her worn handbag and hurried down the busy sidewalk. "Please, God," she whispered. "Just let today go right." The summer morning was warm, and the streets buzzed with activity. Office workers rushed past coffee shops while taxis honked impatiently in traffic. Emily smiled nervously. If she got this job, she could finally stop worrying about rent. She could help her sick mother with medical expenses. She could start rebuilding the future she thought she'd lost. As she approached a crowded intersection, something caught her attention. A little girl stood alone near a bus stop. She couldn't have been older than 6. The child wore an expensive pink dress and shiny shoes, but tears streamed down her face. People walked around her without stopping. Emily slowed. The interview. The little girl. The interview. The little girl. Emily sighed. Her conscience won. She walked over and knelt beside her. "Hey sweetheart," she said gently. "Are you okay?" The little girl looked up with frightened eyes. "I can't find my daddy." Emily's heart sank. "What's your name?" "Sophie." "Do you know your father's phone number?" The girl shook her head. "Do you know where you live?" Another shake. Fresh tears rolled down her cheeks. "I got lost." Emily looked around. No frantic parents. No police officers. Nobody searching. Just a terrified child standing alone. "Don't worry," Emily said softly. "I'll help you." She checked the time again. 9:12 a.m. A knot formed in her stomach. Still, she couldn't leave. Not like this. She bought Sophie a bottle of water and sat with her on a nearby bench. "What does your daddy look like?" "He's tall." Emily smiled. "That narrows it down." Sophie giggled slightly. For the next 20 minutes, Emily tried everything. They asked nearby shop owners. They walked around the area. They searched the surrounding streets. Nothing. No sign of Sophie's father. Finally, Emily called the police. An officer arrived shortly afterward. "Good call," he said. But Sophie immediately grabbed Emily's arm. "Don't leave me." The little girl's voice trembled. Emily looked at her watch. 9:45 a.m. If she left now, she might barely make it. Yet Sophie looked absolutely terrified. The officer noticed. "She seems attached to you," he said. Emily sighed. "I'll stay until her father arrives." The officer nodded gratefully. Most people wouldn't. Emily forced a smile. Inside, panic was building. The interview was slipping away. Minutes passed. Then an hour. Then another. Finally, several black luxury SUVs suddenly pulled up beside the station. Men in suits jumped out. One of them rushed toward Sophie. "Miss Sophie." The little girl's face lit up. "Daddy." A tall man emerged from the lead vehicle. He looked to be in his mid-40s, wearing an expensive tailored suit. The moment Sophie ran into his arms, relief flooded his face. "My baby." He hugged her tightly. For several seconds, he simply held her. Then he turned toward Emily. The officer quickly explained what had happened. The man's expression changed from concern to gratitude. "You stayed with her." Emily nodded. She was scared. "Do you have any idea how long we've been searching?" "No. Over 3 hours." His voice cracked. Slightly. "You may have saved my daughter's life." Emily smiled. "Anyone would have done the same." The officer laughed. "Actually, most people walked right past her." The man extended his hand. "I'm Richard Bennett." Emily shook it. The name sounded familiar. Very familiar. Then realization struck. Richard Bennett. The billionaire entrepreneur. Owner of Bennett Global Holdings. One of the richest men in the country. Emily's eyes widened. "Oh." Richard smiled. "And you are?" "Emily Carter." "Emily, I can't thank you enough." "It's okay." "No, it's not." He reached into his pocket. Emily immediately shook her head. "No reward." Richard seemed surprised. "You don't even know what I was offering." "It doesn't matter. You spent hours helping my daughter." "I didn't do it for money." Sophie's small hand slipped into Emily's. "She's nice, Daddy." Richard smiled. "I can see that." Then he noticed Emily's nervous expression. "Were you supposed to be somewhere?" Emily hesitated. "Actually." "Go ahead." I had a job interview. Richard frowned. Had. It started 2 hours ago. Oh. For the first time, he looked genuinely troubled. You missed it because of Sophie. Emily nodded. Probably. Sophie's face fell. I'm sorry. Emily knelt beside her. It's not your fault. Richard stared at her for a long moment. Most people would have been angry. Most would have complained. Emily didn't. She simply comforted the child. That told him everything. Where was the interview? Harper Financial Group. Richard's eyebrows rose. You were interviewing there? Yes. What position? Executive assistant. Richard became strangely quiet. Then a small smile appeared. I think we can fix this. Emily looked confused. What do you mean? Richard pulled out his phone. He made a call. Daniel, it's Richard. Pause. Yes. Another pause. Harper Financial. Emily blinked. How did he know someone there? Then she remembered. A billionaire knew everyone. Richard continued. I need a favor. Several moments later, he ended the call. Come with me. Where? To your interview. Emily glanced at the luxury SUVs. Seriously. Seriously. 30 minutes later, Emily found herself sitting inside Harper Financial Group's executive conference room. Her jaw nearly dropped when the CEO personally walked in. Miss Carter, he said warmly. Thank you for coming. Emily looked confused. I thought I missed my interview. The CEO smiled. Not anymore. For the next hour, they interviewed her. She answered every question honestly. She discussed her experience, her goals, her skills, her challenges. When it ended, the CEO stood. We'll contact you soon. Emily thanked him and left. Outside, Richard waited. Well, I think it went okay. Richard smiled. I think so too. Sophie's face appeared through the SUV window. Bye, Emily. Emily waved. Bye, sweetheart. She assumed she would never see them again. She was wrong. 3 days later, her phone rang. Miss Carter. Yes. This is Harper Financial Group. Emily held her breath. We'd like to offer you the position. She nearly cried. Really? Yes. The salary was better than she had hoped. The benefits were excellent. The opportunity was life-changing. After hanging up, Emily burst into tears. For the first time in months, they were tears of joy. Life improved quickly. She paid her bills, helped her mother, moved into a better apartment. Everything seemed perfect. Then, 6 months later, something unexpected happened. The company announced a major acquisition. The new majority shareholder would be visiting headquarters. Employees buzzed with excitement. Nobody knew who it was. On the day of the announcement, everyone gathered in the auditorium. The CEO stepped onto the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our new chairman. The doors opened. Emily froze. Richard Bennett walked inside. The room erupted in applause. Her jaw dropped. Richard smiled when he spotted her. After the event, she was called to his office. Emily. Mr. Bennett. He laughed. You can call me Richard. I don't think HR would like that. Fair point. They both laughed. Then Richard became serious. You've done excellent work. Thank you. I wasn't surprised. Emily smiled. Why? Because character predicts performance. She tilted her head. What does that mean? Richard leaned back. The day you found Sophie, you had every reason to leave. Emily stayed silent. You needed a job. Yes. You needed money. Yes. You were desperate. Emily nodded. Yet you chose a frightened child over your own interests. He smiled. That tells me more about a person than any resume. Emily felt emotional. Thank you. Richard shook his head. No. Thank you. Over the following years, Emily's career flourished. She earned promotions, led major projects, built a reputation for integrity. Eventually, she became one of the company's senior executives. People often asked how she had risen so quickly. They expected stories about connections, luck, influence. Instead, Emily always told the truth. It started with a lost little girl. Most people laughed. They assumed she was joking. But she wasn't. One afternoon, years later, Sophie visited the office. Now she was a teenager. Emily. Emily smiled. Look at you. Sophie hugged her. I got accepted into my dream school. That's amazing. Richard stood nearby, proud as ever. You know, Sophie said, I still remember that day. Emily smiled. You do. Of course. Sophie looked thoughtful. Everyone walked past me. The room became quiet. But you didn't. Emily felt tears forming. The teenager continued, "You made me feel safe." For a moment, nobody spoke. Then Richard said softly, "One decision can change many lives." Emily nodded. He was right. She had missed an interview. Lost an opportunity. Or so she thought. What she had actually gained was far greater. She gained trust, respect, friendship, purpose, and a future she could never have imagined. Years earlier, standing on a crowded sidewalk, she had faced a simple choice. Walk away, or help. She chose kindness. And kindness found its way back to her. Not because she expected a reward. Not because she hoped for recognition. But because doing the right thing matters, even when nobody is watching. Sometimes life tests people in ordinary moments. A lost child, a missed appointment, a difficult decision. Most never realize those moments are shaping their future. Emily certainly didn't. She thought she was sacrificing her dream. Instead, she was proving she deserved it. And in the end, the opportunity she almost lost became the beginning of the life she always wanted. Because true success doesn't start with talent. It starts with character. And character reveals itself when helping someone else costs you something. That morning, Emily gave up a chance for herself to help a frightened little girl. Years later, she discovered something beautiful. The opportunities we lose for kindness often return as blessings far greater than we ever imagined.